On those days when scrolling for something, anything, to bring a little joy, a little hope, the comfort of distraction seems like a good idea, I go to Pinterest. One of my favorite scrolling topics is old doors. I also love to come across old doors still in use when out walking or repurposed in people's homes. Old doors are fascinating, painted with many different colored layers of oil-based paint, perhaps a layer or two of stain in between. Each door patinas over time in its own unique pattern. The paint gets cracked by cold weather, peeled by water, and curled in on its edges by hot sun. In places, the paint is chipped and worn down to the wood. Each crack shows different colors of paint. The wood has dents and divots, while the doorknob tarnishes and is polished depending on where it has been touched. The beauty of the old door cannot be replicated, and it cannot be rushed. Designers have various techniques to distress wood doors and furniture to make them look like they are old. But the new, made-to-look old items pale in comparison to that which has weathered, wrinkled, and textured by an accumulation of experiences. I recently finished reading and reflecting on a book by Canadian photographer Freeman Patterson. He has many photos of old doors and windows and abandoned rooms. In his book, The Odyssey, he wrote, "Many religious groups' main enterprise is offering the ultimate cosmetic, life everlasting, to people who feel unable or unwilling to cope with cracks and wrinkles they encounter in their lives on earth." This gave me pause to think that life everlasting is offering an ultimate cosmetic. The idea that it matters not what happens here, because someday in the next life, at the time of the second coming, bodies are transformed to glory. Everything is new and beautiful, filled with peace, no pain, no dying. My main enterprise, a Lutheran understanding, is not about offering the ultimate cosmetic, the oft-longed-for fountain of youth. My experience is that church community is about the enterprise of the weathered, the wrinkled, and the textured. It is about welcome and belonging just as we are, refugees, weary travelers, faith seekers. It's my experience that God is found when I am most vulnerable, in suffering, in grief, in heartache. It's not the glory of later. It is in the ashes of now where hope and love grow, and where God's kingdom comes. Now, not tomorrow. One need not sing many Advent or Christmas carols before realizing that whatever joy, peace, hope, and comfort we find in them, the words and message are wrought with images of Jesus' last days and his death on a cross. This is not glory as a cosmetic. This is real life wrestling with life's purpose, mission, vocation, and being willing to love so much that one comes to a place where they are willing to die for another. Advent and Christmas hold the tensions experienced in life, and particularly focus on the risk of hoping and the risk of loving. Hope and love are not feelings that grow overnight, not items that can be purchased. Hope and love require an accumulation of experience, of risk-taking. There is a story of a young person who posts all over social media how beautiful they are and that they have the most beautiful heart in the world. The pics on Instagram have a gleaming, shiny, and strong heart for everyone to see. One day, the young person is at an influencer's event showing off this magnificent heart. There is a crowd that has gathered to take selfies with the influencer and the heart. A member of the security staff, a retired commissioner, has had enough of the foolhardiness. Removing their security jacket, the retired commissioner walks to the center of the crowd and, looking at the young influencer, pulls out their heart. The crowd gasps and steps back. The heart is worn. It's lumpy, it's dripping, and it's not keeping a steady beat. There are scars, bruises, and holes. The commissioner says, "This is a beautiful heart." The crowd asks, "How is it that that is beautiful compared to the glow and the perfect beating of the other heart?" The commissioner draws in a breath and begins to explain. "This biggest hole is from when my spouse died. Part of my love went with them. This scar is the aftermath of harsh words spoken to a once friend. This black bruise is a matter of forgiveness that I'm still working on. These lumpy patches are promises that have been made to me and that I have made to others that have not been kept. These marks are the times that I loved and it was not received. These pinpricks are the helplessness I have when I am unable to help another." The commissioner went on, and the crowd became ever more silent. When finished speaking, the commissioner was in tears and whispered, "The beauty of the heart accumulates through loving." And with that, the commissioner took out a piece of their heart, walked to the young influencer, and placed the piece into their heart, risking the first mark of love, the first texture on that young heart. And then, having shared love, walked away. Weathered, wrinkled, textured. Our text this morning opens a door to a beautiful story that is weathered and wrinkled and textured. It is one of the few texts that passes what is called the Bechdel-Wallace test, named after the cartoonist Alison Bechdel, who assessed the role of women in cultural narratives. To pass the test, 2 or more women have to be named and have a conversation with each other about something other than a man. In our story today, Mary and Elizabeth are named, and they are having a conversation. For 3 months, they will be together, weathering pregnancy, watching the formation of stretch marks, experiencing textures of emotions, waiting with expectation and perhaps fear for all that will come to pass. Motherhood, parenthood is weathering, wrinkling, and texturing of life. In the final days of Advent, when I encounter an old door, I'm going to pause and reflect on the beauty to be found in the accumulation of experience, in the risk of loving, in stretch marks, in wrinkles, in silvery white hair, in natural patinas. And I will wonder, has this old door witnessed the leaping of a child in the womb? Women filled with the Holy Spirit. Women talking about God. Has this old door felt joy from those who have passed through its threshold? Has it heard the singing of rejoicing? Was it ever slammed in the face of the proud? Did it welcome the hungry to be filled with good things, or close behind the rich, leaving empty-handed? Behind the door, do the residents live secure and in peace? Has this old door been a witness to love? Has this old door experienced God, love, in the weathered, the wrinkled, the textured? Does this old door know that it's beautiful?